Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I just wanted to make a quick live to give you guys some information. I'm out and about on my way home, and unfortunately it's snowing in this region, so God knows what kind of traffic I'm going to deal with on my way back. But I wanted to give you guys some information. I usually take these videos and I will put them on my Facebook and my YouTube channel. So if you're watching me via YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe the video if the information is helpful. And if you're on Facebook, if you find it helpful, please take the time to share. What I wanted to actually bring some information and some knowledge on you guys. Matter of fact, let me include this because this is going to really be important to my group or my community. See if I can find them. Search. Well, I might not can find my community right now. Hold on one second. Close that out. Clear that up. Okay. It's doing the most. All right. Bring this down. But what I wanted to share with you guys, what I did finally receive in the mail. It took me a while. I got a hold to my it's my Nexus Lexus report. Now, if you guys are not aware, a lot of people just focus on your 3 credit reports, which is what the big 3: Equifax, TransUnion, and Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. But if you're not aware, there is a data company that gives them their information, not only to them but insurance carriers. And the name of the company is LexisNexis. Another one is also SageStream. And LexisNexis is what they call a clue report. This report is very comprehensive. So when I received this report on me, and I'm somebody that's in my early 40s, so the amount of information they have on this report is really mind-blowing. It is extremely mind-blowing. This report is 74 pages long for me. Not only does it include just about my childhood addresses, all the way back to maybe not from my younger years, but definitely from my early pre-adolescent years, my address all the way until now, addresses. And so it also details for each address what is the amount of the property, how much the property cost. Also, it included my parents' information, how much the houses are valued at now, including my house, who I purchased my houses from. And one of my houses, I didn't even know who I purchased it from. Probably if I looked at the paperwork, but I probably didn't really even care. And what I purchased my house for, and what is the current market value of my house. Then it also in detail my siblings' addresses out of state. And it had every vehicle I own. Way back to my 1995 Dodge Neon with every VIN number. It also included every corporation that I started, and those that I even forgot about, businesses that I kind of even forgot that I started. And it's very intrusive. It tells you about what my house is worth, what is the square footage of my house, what is the lot size of my house, every loan I had, and this is beyond 7 years, every loan, every mortgage carrier I had, even ones I forgot. It is so detailed on information and even an address. I'm like, I don't even know how they got this address, but a address of a friend of mine. And even when I lived in Connecticut, an apartment I rented, the value of that apartment. So what I'm trying to really let you guys know, it is very imperative that you do get a hold to that report. They have every traffic ticket that I had, even parking tickets that wasn't actually mine. So all this information you're being judged on. So a lot of people are chasing down, removing items on their Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. But this works in the background. So even if you accomplish, let's say, to delete a public record, like say you take off your bankruptcy, it's still reporting to LexisNexis if you do not take the time to dispute that off. That is probably one of the first places, you guys, you need to go to get that information off, is dispute your LexisNexis. Because even if they take it off of those other major 3 credit reports, the banks have this information in-house and they judge you on this information. So you're being judged on information that you really do have access to, but the average consumer doesn't know that this is what they're looking at internally by their guidelines. And if you really look at it, you can see that even the community that you're living in is a big factor. Your addresses is a big factor. I had an attorney, and now it makes sense to me, when I was doing a lawsuit in my younger day, asked me, he said, what high school did you go to? And I said, well, I graduated from Somerset County, Franklin Township. I went to Franklin High School. And he said, oh, that's good. And I said, why? And he said, because it's an affluent county, one of the most affluent counties in the United States. I think at that time, maybe 4 or 5 in the United States. And I said, well, why would that be even important? He said, because insurance companies judge you for your offer from where you graduated high school. And I never would understand, well, how would they even have that information? But they can look back on this report that they do buy and have access to and see certain factors about you. So a lot of us, you're working at a disadvantage, because even if you freeze your LexisNexis score, in order for you to try to get more credit, you have to unfreeze that, because a lot of carriers or insurance lenders will not give you a loan or without that information. So even I had addresses tied into certain real estate out of state of my parents, just all over. So it makes you wonder, what are they really judging you in-house? And if I didn't tell you guys before, I told you, a lot of times when you get in a credit card, right, they do not extend you credit beyond what a prior bank give you credit for. So if you are living in a certain community and you have a certain credit score, let's say an 850 credit score at the top, you will not get approved as a person living in another area. You might only get $3,000. They might be able to access of an unsecured credit line of $10,000. So when you get credit and you need to increase your credit limit, or you want to increase or balance out your debt to available credit ratio, and you're thinking, if I get this card, eventually they'll give me extensions, like they'll keep giving me increased limits that I can apply for. Because you live in a certain community, You cannot get there as fast as another person who has an address in that other community. And because what they're doing is basing it off where you live, the average credit score in that community. So if you are living in a low income community, you are being judged by that address. So I hope that's clear for you guys. You're being judged by that. So this is why it's so important on what I talk about using merchandise cards. These cards, merchandise cards, can actually put you ahead of the game because you have these lenders now where, let's say my jewelry club, out the gate, if you're 18 years old and and you're a citizen, U.S. citizen, they automatically extend you a $5,000 card limit, unsecured card limit. Yes, it's only for their merchandise, but they're reporting it through all three credit bureaus. So when you start getting those offers in the mail, that'll say pre-screened, you're pre-qualified, that's because those companies have selected a certain profile they're looking for, and yours was one of them. They paid for those lists, so you have a better chance of getting that card. But another thing, I know a lot of people get secured credit cards, but secured cards, to me, if I had an option to get a secured card or a merchandise card that give me a $5,000 unsecured limit, you go for the $5,000 unsecured limit any day, okay? Because a secured card is like saying riding the bike with training wheels. There's certain lenders, when they look in-house and that you have a secured card, it look like you are not a good fit for credit worthiness. It looks like you have to have a guard on yourself. So when you're looking at credit worthiness, they're looking at it from a financial point of view. Are you worthy for us to invest in? Can we make a return on our investment? A lot of people are under the mindset that your good credit is really for you. It's not. If you don't learn how to take your good credit and leverage your credit to make cash flow, you will quickly be in the same position if you're only buying liabilities. Okay, so it is a difference in assets and liabilities, things that create you cash flow. Okay, so I want to be clear with that. So you guys are being judged by items that you don't understand. And that's why I tell people I am not credit repair. I am a person that was a real estate investor that learned real quickly that if I was trying to achieve my goals, credit will give me a glass ceiling really quickly. So what happened, I started to learn how to adjust, learn tips to get my credit up. I was 25 trying to buy my second multifamily house. I did not have a BMW or anything. I got that after. I had a car note. I had a car note, and I had another mortgage. And because of my debt that I would had to pay every month, I had at that moment probably like $1680 and that was back in 2004, $1680, and plus my car note, and then I had some student loan debts I was paying off. I never missed a payment at all. Great credit history, never had, but my credit score was low because with my mortgage amount, the debt I owed to available credit, I didn't have enough. So my credit score was down like 595. And so when me and the broker was going over it, I had enough income, plenty of income, because I had a great job. I had also extra stated income from my real estate investing. It was giving me cash flow, but the problem was, for me to qualify, I needed to increase my credit score so I can get the second property, and I was going to closing. So I had to do that in amount of time. So using that, getting a merchandise card was a way. Back then they would give you $12,000, $15,000 out at the gate, but now they kind of dialed it in without a hard pull. Now they do a hard pull, a lot of these companies, but it still doesn't matter. You have a guaranteed credit limit, so it will put you ahead of the game. A lot of you guys don't understand what's working against you in the background. So you do need to get access to your LexisNexis report to see, because even that comes into play when you're applying for jobs. It comes into play because if you're getting car insurance, it's coming into play because it has your violations on there. So you could be getting disqualified for something that's on that report. So a lot of people are just so focused on the big three, but you really need to get into the details of it, because you might achieve with removing that off of your Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, but when the banks are looking at this clue report and they get that in-house, you're being disqualified. So, and you also are being looked at the community that you're living in. So you have to take these things into consideration and try to learn how to work around it. You can dispute items off this clue report. You can I'm getting my Sage Stream. I'm waiting for that to come. That's a whole nother credit report that they work in the background, that they will access and use to judge you for lending. So you just got to always keep in mind on what your goals and what you're doing. I'm not saying credit is your only way, but if you're looking for employment, a job, even housing, they're looking to see if you have a criminal background. They're looking for certain information. So you need to get a hold to this report and really go through it. And if it's anything that you need to dispute, you should dispute it through LexisNexis. Another thing, a lot of y'all that want jobs, I had a situation when I went to get a job back in 2009. 2008, and I guess Facebook was really taking off there, and I sat down, and when I got hired, my boss told me, he said, oh yeah, I was looking online, like looking at social media pages for you. I said, well, I know you ain't find nothing because I ain't have nothing. I really didn't. I started this Facebook because I was doing a business thing and I just want to connect with businesses. So I knew I didn't have one. And he was like, yeah, because you know, I was going to hire this one guy, and I went to his Facebook profile, and he was doing all these things, and I knew he wasn't a perfect fit. A lot of you guys are using explicit language, sexual content, and hey, that each his own. But if you're looking for a job, you're looking to go make business connections in life, keep in mind all of this stuff you can be judged by. So you want to try to keep in mind on how you're operating online. Even now, colleges are looking at people's social media to see whether or not they will accept them into colleges. So you have to keep that in mind. As my friend Tamika Darren Thomas will say, it ain't what you do, it's how you do. So some of it you need to monitor on how you do and what you're doing. So I know a lot of it is like fun and games for a lot of people, and you know, you can talk a certain way or whatever. Hey, you might do that in your own personal life, but you got to watch how you doing that, because it could be stopping you from reaching your goals. So I just want to give you guys heads up on that. Make sure you access that report. You can go to LexisNexis and they have a form that you can pull off, download, fill it out, and you can send it to the company. And what they will do is not send you your credit report, because I guess the information is so detailed. They will send you a PIN number and they will give you a special link for you. You would enter that and then you will unlock that credit report, and you only have 30 days to print that out to have access to that report. So it's very important that you do access that report, because that can stop you. And sometimes what you need to do is maybe before, if you have time, before you make certain moves, if you're really serious about reaching your goals and it does take financing, keep in mind of that. Another sidebar, I just hear a lot of credit repair, and there's nothing wrong with credit repair, and I hear a lot of talk. I just try to give people simple truths. A lot of people say, I want to get a house. You can get a house with a 580 credit score. It's called FHA, you guys. You can get a house. So all of this, I need to get this, y'all can get a house. It's not, y'all don't have to be, you don't have to be bound by that, like to think that you got to chase this credit score. Do it dictate your interest rate? Yes, but if you're a first-time home buyer, what do you care? Get the house. What I am saying, you have to research some things out. I'm from a certain region. I'm from the Northeast. Our numbers are different. But if you're not living in California, the 5 boroughs of New York City, or outside of that, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Hawaii, you can get a house if you have the income to pay for it. In these regions that I named, the house prices are just higher. So you might have difficulty trying to qualify if you don't have enough income. But there's always another way. But one thing you will have to have is the down payment, 3.5% of what the house value is. So if you're living in those regions, even in the regions I named, you can find a house in that bracket. I know a young lady right now, she's 21, 22, the most. She bought a house. It can be done. You know, she's single, bought a house. She just found one in her price range that she can afford. You can do the same thing. You don't have to have this perfect credit score. You can go through FHA, who actually give lenders a guarantee through PMI insurance. Get the house. You don't have to keep that mortgage for 30 years. You can refinance that mortgage, and you can go through a credit union. I had someone I was dating in my 20s that gave me that instruction when I was looking for another house. Say, hey, you got FHA, right? Yes, I do. Refinance that. They will give you a lump sum of money back from your PMI. Then take that, put that on a down payment for another house, which I did. And I went through my own credit union, and they even gave me a better percentage rate. So, I mean, they gave me a better rate on my mortgage. So what I'm telling you guys, you don't have to chase the credit score. I'm not just focus on credit. If you're going to be an investor, if you have goals, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can get a house with bad credit. I keep telling people that. You just got to learn how to look at your goal and do things another way. You can do lease with an option to buy. I hear people talking crazy about leasing with an option to buy. Leasing with an option to buy is not a bad way to go. You get to live in the house and see if the house have any issues before you buy it. You saw what I'm saying? So you can see if it's any major issues, and do you want to be tied into that? And then you have a guaranteed locked in rate at the end of that term where you can purchase that house. You can do land contracts to buy a house. You can have owner financing. That owner finance you a house. There are people that in certain regions, you can get a manufactured home, and all you simply need is an auto loan and a piece of land, and they will take that land and then give you a loan. And you put a foundation on that, and you can extend get a mortgage, or you can get a home equity loan off of that, because a manufactured home, when it is seated on a piece of land that you own, it turns to a home. So guess what? You can simply get equity out of that by getting an auto loan, and that house fully furnished. And now the manufactured home game, You cannot tell the difference from a regular home with these so-called triple wides. They are really homes. It's crazy. And the material that they're using now. So there is more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, that's a country saying. More than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to doing things. What you have to do is just really look at your goal and then apply knowledge. And like I said, I just give people simple truths. I'm not here to hustle nobody. God is good, and he is good all the time. So he gives me a way that this is not my primary way of making money at all. If I was looking for giving information on credit to feed me, child, I would have starved a long time ago. No, that's not how I get money. So what I'm just doing is giving y'all information. And this is why, if you're interested, join our community. You can join my community over there. It's our community. We're communing. We are giving each other information. Like that gentleman, what I dated a long time ago, gave me information to help my life. I'm giving you information. So we share with one another. And that's how you're going to get knowledge. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Make sure you take the information I gave you. If you're interested in joining my group, A Quick Guide on How to Boost Your Credit Fast group, feel free. I'll put the link up in the description. If you give me a second or two, I also have some book titles: A Quick Guide on How to Boost Your Credit and Stop Collections, A Quick Guide on How to Boost Your Credit Using Merchandise Cards. I mentioned that in this earlier. And I also have A Quick Guide on How to get student loan relief and improve your credit, and my latest edition, A Quick Guide on How to Boost Your Credit in 30 days or less. So I hope this was helpful. God bless you guys, and enjoy your evening.